Hey, welcome to Graphic Policy Television GPTV. I'm Brett, and my hands is a Science Comics Human Spaceflight Rockets and Rivalry by Andy Hirsch. Now, for those who don't know Science Comics, this is exactly what it sounds like. It's a graphic novel that dives into some scientific fact. This is all about human spaceflight, taking you through the history of human spaceflight up until fairly recently. It talks a little about going to Mars, but not too much as far as that. So don't expect to see stuff about like SpaceX or anything currently going on with our return to the moon or maybe heading to Mars. This is really kind of up until like I would say maybe late 80s, early 90s time wise. But it goes way back in time. We're going back to Philly, back to 1862, and the Englishmen James Glacier and Henry Coxel, and about their flight, where they kind of went higher than any human has done before, apparently, and learned the mistakes of going higher than any human went before. But it's a great place to start off because there it talks about the difficulties of going to space and just going really high in the atmosphere as a whole. You learn all sorts of scientific facts from there. And then there's, from there, a journey about spaceflight as a whole, the history of spaceflight, the Apollo mission, Gemini, Russia, the race with Russia. It touches upon how like women were key to all this. The Gemini, I think 13. The cooperation between Russia and the United States eventually. It really is a nice amount of history and a nice amount of science as well. It talks about the difficulties of going into space and things you need to know, and like how do you breathe in space, and how do you actually get into space, and the multi-tier rocket or multi-stage rockets, and how'd you get to the moon, and all that. Like it's one where it kind of is a great. So what's interesting about science comics, a lot of times science comics tell a story, and then the science is built into the story. This is more of history, and then the science is built into the history. It takes you through the history of early space flight and then the space race to fairly modern times, and through that it takes you through like the scientific achievements and the difficulty of pulling all that off. And to me, it's a different type of science comics, but it's a pretty solid science comics. Art is great. Like it's fairly scientific, weighty concepts, and I think it does a really great job of explaining them. Here we can see about rocket engines and explosions, and it kind of gets into the early tests of the animals and how they were able to breathe in space and stuff like that. And then, of course, it even dives into, like, hey, and, a lot of this came out of World War II, and people kind of raced to get German scientists and the Nazi knowledge for their rockets. So yeah, it's really solid. I think it also does a good job of giving some little bit of humor to it all, and entertains while educating. So as always, I think science comics are a great way to go and learn about topics. A great place to begin to learn about topics, and then hopefully go through other things to go learn. There's a glossary in the back with some key terms and kind of key events. So yeah, I mean, I would go check this out. I think it's really cool if you're into spaceflight, or you want to learn about spaceflight, especially kids. This is, I think, a really great place to start to go learn all that. You can go get it. It is out in shops. We got a link beneath this video. Put in your zip code to tell the shops near you. No shop, no problem. We have some links where you can purchase your own. There'll be affiliate links, so we will get a small percentage, and by doing that, you help support our site. So thank you. And speaking of support, I want to thank First Second for hooking us up with the review copy, and of course, thank you all for watching. If you are into comics, if you're into graphic novels, check us out every day at graphicpolicy.com. We're on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Tumblr, Instagram, TikTok, Mastodon, Threads, Blue Sky, all at Graphic Policy, keeping it nice and consistent. So until next time, keep reading those comics and keep it geeky. Hey, thanks for watching the previous video from Graphic Policy Television. Just by watching, you help support our site. Thank you so much. Now, if you're watching these videos, you probably care about geeky things like movies, television, comic books, toys, games, video games, you name it. You can go and subscribe right now to our YouTube channel to stay in touch and catch all the new videos, or check out our website at graphicpolicy.com. There's a nice link on this end of the video. But as always, thank you for watching. Keep on rocking and keep it geeky.